All right, I want to do it. Let's do it. Apparently, Ben Shapiro reacted to a TikTok that I can't find, but hopefully Myron and whatever, Fresh and Fit, show it to us about Ben Shapiro and why he's wrong about why you should get married. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're biting the bullet. We're going to do it. Listen, I'm happy. Okay, listen, you have to understand something. I've been criticizing Ben for not going in hard enough on the manosphere, despite the fact that they have a horrible, toxic ideology. And he's starting to do it. We have to do it. We have to give credit where credit is due. We have to do it.
I didn't wait to see if she's a good girl for me, if she's really here for me or for the money. You don't really know. So it's tough, man.
It is tough, man.
Yeah, it's really tough.
All right,
really
we're caught up?
Well, since you only like mess around with party girls, they're probably just there for the money. So
pretty much,
yes.
All right, cool. So guys, so let's get into today's topic, guys. So
that's why it's good to get married younger when you're still building, so that like the person you're with, you know, they want to be with you because you have nothing. Right? That's why that's one of the things that if you can, it makes it easier. So
as you guys know, a video dropped. Actually, this came to my attention. Let's go back in time a little bit.
I like this. Any anti-Semitic remark is strictly jokes. Incredible.
Right. So my little brother sent me a video, and it was Ben Shapiro, and I was like, "Oh, awesome! What's this?" So I opened up the video, and I see that he's reacting to a clip from our interview or a podcast that we did with Valuetainment Money, right?
Yeah,
Adam Saucecast podcast, right? Saucenex podcast,
yeah,
aka Saucecast. And in that podcast, I had talked about the 5 things that you need in place before you become married. And those 5 things, just to refresh your guys' memory, is make $100,000 a year.
Yeah, no, already wrong. So most. We're just instantly wrong. If one of the things you say you should do before you get married is have $100,000 a year, you're silly. If you have a personal goal to do this, that's fine. But just understand that, like, I don't even know how to explain this, but I remember I was talking to my uncle about having kids, and he's like, yeah, we're not ready yet. This was when my wife and I weren't ready yet. And he's like, you're just not ready. You know, you just kind of have kids. That's how it happened for him. So I was like, interesting. And it kind of is, it's worked into my moral philosophy a little bit. And that is that things are just going to happen, man. Like, hopefully, if you're lucky, you will find love as you venture through life. A love of like a partner, you know, whether you're gay or normal or whatever. Okay. And hopefully it'll happen casually. You know, maybe you'll meet somebody at work. Because most of the time, people don't meet each other on Twitter for relationships. Just so you know, maybe you'll meet somebody at work, or maybe at church, maybe at some kind of an event, or maybe through a friend, or through a sibling, but hopefully not your sibling, or in your community in some capacity. And you will naturally fall in love while you build and you grow. And that's hopefully what happens, right? But putting this arbitrary standard of you have to make $100K a year, most people are just not going to make $100,000 a year. And I think it's ridiculous to put your entire life on hold for this arbitrary number that doesn't demonstrate happiness. Having more money will make you happy. But like, and it's fine if you have the personal value, but just in general, like you don't need to make $100,000 a year before you find love or get married. In fact, you're better off finding somebody before you're successful so you can build and grow together and go through a struggle. And this way you can figure out and know if they want to be with you for you or the money. That's why, like, when I become super duper rich, my wife and I aren't going to have problems because, like, she loves me for me. I could be a pizza boy and we'd still be in love. My wife values my hard work. I don't do a lot now, but if I couldn't do this, I would just go get a regular job and I work my ass off like I used to. That's all she cares about, right? And I think I respect that. I want a woman who isn't super like, oh my God, I just like money. We like the money, but you get my point. Anyway.
Have 6 months to 1 year of savings, right?
Okay.
Cash, liquid.
Most people aren't going to be able to have that. We have a pretty big poverty problem in the United States.
Be 35 years old.
Why?
Be in shape. Have been in the gym for a while.
That's good advice to get in shape.
And have sex with 50 women.
50.
That's weird. Okay. The gym thing is, everything else is garbage.
Be 35 years old.
Why wait till you're 35?
Be in shape, have been in the gym for a while, and have sex with 50 women.
50. I don't, listen, here's the thing. I think it's silly, again, the arbitrary number on women. There are some guys who like to fuck more than other guys. I fucked around with different girls, not 50. It's more in like the low 20s. But like, I got it out of my system. I'll tell you that being committed, I used to be in like an open or poly relationship. Being committed, it's something good for your brain. I can't even articulate this to you. That's been putting me, it's put me in a better area of success. When you're constantly chasing pussy, it's just too much of your life is dedicated on that. Whereas being married, I don't focus on shit like that. I focus on myself, building for myself and my wife. I'm motivating you know, having a family is a massive motivator. Having a good woman with you is a massive motivator to be a better man. Some people may not need that motivation, but it certainly has helped me profusely. But it's just weird, and especially since there are we talk about these statistics when it comes to both men and women. When you have more bodies, people will report lower satisfaction rates in relationships. You know, sow your wild oats, but like, why do you need specifically 50? This advice, this is silly advice. I would say get your nut out of your system, but that might take 3 girls. It might take more. Try not to make it 50 because that's a lot and you could get STDs. But this is terrible advice, but okay.
And obviously that last part, whoa, everyone and their mom is going crazy, right? So,
well, it's not crazy, it's silly. It makes most people realize like you guys don't know what you're talking about and that you're just silly.
About me saying that you need to have sex with 50 women, but there's a reason for that, guys.
Don't need to.
And I'm going to go into that here in a little bit. But Ben Shapiro ended up criticizing the video and didn't agree with my advice. Okay,
because it's bad advice.
First and foremost, let's go ahead and introduce you guys to who Ben Shapiro is. If you guys don't know who he is, you've been living under a rock. So Benjamin Air Shapiro, born January 15, 1984. So he's about 39 years old. Yep. Okay, he's an American attorney, businessman, columnist, author, conservative political commentator, and media personality. At age 17, he became the youngest nationally syndicated columnist in the United States. Shapiro writes columns for Creators Syndicate, Newsweek, and AMI magazine, and serves as editor emeritus for the Daily Wire, which he founded. Shapiro is the host of the Ben Shapiro Show, a daily political podcast and live radio show. He was editor at large of Breitbart News between.
It's funny because I don't like Ben Shapiro's politics, but I like his personal life. Like I watched him on Lex Frieden podcast, and he's a very good. He seems like a good man. You know what I mean? He seems like a good guy. I hate the obsession with trans people, but I respect him on a personal level, just not on a policy level, if that makes sense.
In 2012 and 2016, Shapiro has written 11 books, which he actually wrote a book about debating, which is pretty good as well. So
here's my advice on debating. You go to a college with a bunch of kids that aren't prepared for the conversation that you're going to have, and you just steamroll them. There you go. Boom.
That's who he is in a nutshell, guys. Okay, very famous political commentator. He actually got a roast of fame for pretty much dunking on college kids when he goes and does speeches, because it always happens.
It's kind of similar because you guys do the same thing. You pull a bunch of young college girls on your program to make you look smart.
Fails. He'll go to university.
The difference is his band seems to be able to hold his own against adults too.
University. He'll give a speech. There'll be some liberal.
Stop dodging destiny, man.
Liberal heckler. Oh, well, I don't agree with this and that, and you're a bigot, and and then he'll basically just destroy them with facts. That's awesome. Yeah, he just literally destroys them because the problem with these libtards is they don't operate in reality. They don't operate on facts. They operate on feelings a lot of the times.
Yeah, that's why I feel you should have sex with 50 women, despite the fact that there's nothing that suggests that makes sense. But I feel that it's true. I feel that you should wait till you have $100,000, which means no one's getting married. Your entire moral structure for when you should get married as a man is purely feelings based on some arbitrary things with absolutely no backing other than I feel that this is right. So like it's ironic that you're saying liberals don't operate with facts. Everybody has a trouble operating with facts in different capacities, of course. But like your 5 principles are dumb and wrong, and they would just cause the collapse of society because we need married people to have babies, to raise those kids, to be productive members of society. And most people are not going to hit $100,000 a year in their lifetime. So waiting for this arbitrary amount is just basically, people listen to it, they're not going to hit the number. But even if they do, they're going to get married so late, they're going to have fewer kids. It's just silly. Like, you guys don't even have a logical foundation for anything. Like, logically, your entire argument of when people should get married is going to cause the collapse of society if people listened to it. So ironic.
He just dunks on these fucking guys, and it's awesome. So
dunks.
That's how he became really popular on YouTube, right? And you can see Matt Walsh does something very similar, also at the Daily Wire. If I'm not mistaken, I think Matt Walsh.
Yeah, don't insult Ben Shapiro by comparing him to Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is a morbidly unintelligent person. I respect Ben; he's an intelligent guy, even if I disagree with him. Matt Walsh is literally dumb as shit. Like, it's insane.
This is a part of Daily Wire, where he's talking about, there's 2 genders. What is a woman? So these guys do a good job of being able to preserve and promote conservative values to an increasingly woke agenda, which, you guys already know what happens when you go woke. So anyway.
Yeah, go woke, go broke, right?
So that's who he is in a nutshell, okay, guys, from a bird's eye view, right?
Go woke, go broke, guys. That's why organizations pander to woke people, because it doesn't make them more money.
So let's go ahead and go into the video he made, right? So I got this TikTok from...
Bro, have they ever reacted to me? Like, this is the worst I've ever looked. I had COVID, guys. I'll come out here tomorrow. Jesus Christ, though. I should sit in the fucking dark.
My little brother, like I told y'all before, and in it he criticized us. So let's go ahead and play this video.
I say all the time,
enlarge it.
today's
Enlarge
day
it.
and age, you shouldn't be getting married until you're at least 35.
That was my
Yeah.
next question
As
for
a
you.
man.
As a man, what age
What
should
about
you
women?
consider getting married?
So I
Just like whenever you fall in love, I guess.
have, this is my
I would say try not to marry like your high school sweetheart, but if it works out, it works out.
thing that I tell guys.
Yeah.
I think 35
More than anything else, I would say like, hey, make sure that you date around a little bit so you know what you like, and if you have reservations about the relationship, then it might not be the relationship for you.
years old, had slept with at least.
It's hard to give advice about this topic because it's so specific to every person. Like sometimes vague advice can be very dangerous because let's say you're in like a pretty happy relationship and you have like one small thing maybe like wrong, and I say like if you have reservations in your relationship, maybe it's time to move on, and you're like, yeah, you know what, she farts in her sleep, I'm gonna fucking leave her. You know what I mean? I don't know you or your personal relationship, so it's hard to give me specific advice. This specific advice is terrible advice.
50 women, 100K per year. You're in shape, and you got 6 months to 1 year of savings.
All right, done. I got to get married. I've done all that. That's easy.
Here's the Republic right there. So that is a recipe for a terrible marriage, by the way, guys.
Absolutely.
Waiting until you're 35 and have slept with 50 women. That is a terrible recipe for marriage by
Absolutely.
every available data point. It turns out
Absolutely.
that you are much better in terms of getting married if you get married younger, if you do not have a wide variety of sexual partners. All the stuff about,
True.
you know, being in shape and having money and all the rest. Like, you should try to do that, generally speaking. But this notion that you wait until you're 35, you've already made a bevy of mistakes that have shaped your character and made you much more rigid as a person. And that you
The true. This is actually a phenomenal point, like unironically. It's almost like it's hard to articulate it specifically, but I talked about this the other day with my wife. Like, I will never be able to be with somebody like my wife, or I'll never be able to find love outside of my wife, because my wife and I have gone through a specific struggle of like generating ourselves together, and we grew together. Now, some people are unlucky and they grow apart as they develop, and that sucks. I've been there too. But like, you need to grow together with somebody, and it can be very difficult to, after you're already established and you have no true struggles in your life anymore, to find somebody to struggle with. Because you don't really have struggles. And so you may not have as close of a bond, or you may not be able to test your relationship where it matters. If you don't put something under stress, you're not going to know when this breaking point is. My wife and I have had plenty of stress points in our relationship where we've made it through them, and that's why our relationship is very strong. So getting to a point where you've already succeeded can make it more difficult to find somebody. That doesn't mean that everybody, doesn't mean you can't succeed first. It's just something to consider. So it's something that, to keep in mind. But yeah, like the more sexual partners somebody has, the lower they report happiness rates. That's a fact. That's a statistic. That's like an objective truth. Like, men and women, the more sexual partners they have, the lower satisfaction rates they report in their relationships as time goes on. Like, this is for both men and women. This is an objective fact. All right.
You should have had a basis of comparison in terms of sex of dozens and dozens and dozens of women. No, the data do not support this, and it's stupid.
All right.
Ben's right.
Wow.
So, obviously he's saying that the data doesn't support it, blah, blah,
Because he's 100% correct.
blah. Which actually it does.
No, it doesn't.
And I'm going to talk about the data here in a
Let's
bit.
see it.
But so you guys are probably wondering.
I'm just gonna go find the data because I know it's not true. I have it. I think I have it bookmarked still, but the data it doesn't exist for you.
Well, why is he so strong on getting married young? Having this traditionally conservative outlook on dating, etc. So let's go back to that Wikipedia page real fast, guys.
Could be his background.
Yeah, I think his background has a lot to play with it. Which
Is he
there's nothing wrong with his
conservative?
background. I wish every person was able to enjoy.
Are
the
you gonna say he says conservative things because he's conservative?
background that Ben actually was able to?
That'll be
have?
amazing.
Let's go ahead and pull it up real quick, Mo. So, early life and education, right? Shapiro was born in Los Angeles, California, to a conservative Jewish family of Russian, Jewish, and Lithuanian Jewish ancestry. When he was 9 years old, his family transitioned to Orthodox Judaism. He started playing violin at a young age and performed at the Israel Bonds banquet in 1996 at 12 years of age. His parents both worked in Hollywood. His mother was an executive of a TV company, and his father, David Shapiro, worked as a composer.
All right, so yeah, I found the article. I guess I should link it. I always reference this article. I always reference this article to people when they talk about relationships, because a lot of times people will say that women shouldn't have high body counts because the higher body count that they have, the more miserable they are in a relationship, or the lower their happiness ratings are. I'll link this. You can read it yourself. That's true, but it's for men and women. This is the percentage reporting very happy in marriage, and it's based off a partner. Yellow is actually men and blue is women, which means that men with lower body counts are actually happier than women, funny enough. So you see here that as you increase number of partners, this curve's a little up and down, but happiness rate goes down. Okay, and it's at its lowest at 21 plus partners. Now, maybe they didn't do their due diligence and didn't find enough people with 50 plus partners to ask this question. That's doubtful. But it seems like the more sex you have, the more difficult it can be to generate happiness in a relationship. Now, there might be other factors there as well, sure, but I think that this makes general sense. This is the statistic we're operating on. More partners means less happy life. Now, it doesn't mean, like, everybody's different, right? You know, you might be somebody, I'm not saying don't, you know, sow your wild oats, but what I'm saying is to sit here and say you should hit 50 partners to be happy isn't represented in data. So facts don't care about your feelings, you know? I would say try to be as non-promiscuous as you can while you get out whatever wild oats you need to sow. That would be my general advice. So there you go.
Okay. Skipping 2 grades, 3rd and 9th, Shapiro went from Walter Reed Middle School in the Valley to Yeshiva University High School of Los Angeles in Westside Los Angeles, where he graduated in 2016. He graduated from the University of California, Los Angeles in 2004, summa cum laude, and Phi Beta Kappa at age 20 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science, and then from Harvard Law School in 2007 as a cum laude. Okay, so obviously some very impressive accolades there that he's achieved. And then he went on to work at the law offices of Goodwin Proctor. As of March 2012, he ran an independent consultancy firm, Benjamin Shapiro Legal Consulting in Los Angeles. And then right around that time is actually when he started, you know, the dunking on these college students, etc., and then just became a huge social media personality, right?
Okay.
So here's the problem, right, guys? As you guys can see from his background, grew up in a, you know, fairly well-off family, okay, successful family,
sure,
2-parent household, fantastic, right? And he had religion in his family as well, instilled in his family. And I've always,
and that's why he says you should have those things, because these things do seem to have higher outcomes, right? So you definitely 2-parent household, married. I don't know if the religious part, but maybe, why not? You know,
said when you come from a stable background, you have religion, you tend to have more positive worldviews, and it's better.
Well, that's debatable.
For creating relationships conducive to stable marriages, right?
But
you guys got to keep in mind, right, that not everyone gets this privileged background, so to speak.
Okay.
And also their environment as well. Not to bring up that point, but for example, he married early, 07, 08, right?
So you're saying that if you don't, so wait, hold on. So far your argument is if Ben has a privileged background, which allowed him to succeed because he had like well-off parents and they were married. But most of us don't have that, so somehow we should fuck 50 people. That made me come. That makes a lot of perfect sense. What are you talking about? There's nothing, this information doesn't change anything.
Right?
Yeah, he married at 24 years old.
And I'm just saying, most of that...
a lot of people married young, right? We understand that.
I want to say culture and that type of like dynamic. You get arranged marriages all the time. So it's pretty much like, okay, cool. Here's my son, Ben. Here's your daughter.
Well, I don't think Ben had an arranged marriage, so this doesn't matter. His wife's a doctor, just so you know.
Ali, they'd be a good fit. And the families are vetted. They're successful. They're both in a good environment. So it just breeds an arranged marriage, so to speak.
So I don't know if his marriage was arranged. But
it might not be, but
it's not. So this whole tangent is weird.
Just saying, like,
but the point I'm trying to make here is that the background that Ben enjoyed is what most men are never going to get to enjoy, right?
Sadly.
A 2-parent household, strong religious values, right? And then
but by the way, advocating for men to fuck 50 girls is going to create more single mother households. Your whole ideology of like, yeah, it's okay for men to cheat and fuck a bunch of girls first, and love is gay, and don't eat pussy, and vaginas are gross, and women are just secondary objects, and find them as young as possible, and they just exist to clean up. These are going to create more single parent households. You have to be aware of this. What you advocate for, Jesus Christ, there's a glare. Hold on. What you're advocating for is bad. It's going to create more of the problem.
Finding another family that has a daughter that also has strong religious values, right?
There you go.
And he got married at 24 years old. Let's be honest, man.
There you go.
2023, nowadays with inflation, the cost of living, you can't live on one income, and being 24 years old and married.
Sure, but most people will each work a job. Ben's wife is a doctor, so they have a 2-income household. Who cares?
Someone and being able to take care of her and a family in today's day and age, not viable for most guys.
Okay, but not everybody. Like, if you want to do that, be my guest, but that doesn't really change too much. You don't have to do that.
I mean, if you're in the audience, think about all your friends. Who's like that you know? I know one person maybe, and they're divorced now. So it's like, bro.
Well, all of my family, I don't like nobody in my family is as spectacularly rich as Ben Shapiro, but most of the people in my family, a good amount of them, especially like my mother and her brothers and sisters, are pretty successful. The men are married, the women aren't. Weird, right? Doing pretty well. Stable married households, actually religious. I have a pretty religious family. Cringe, no. They did pretty well for themselves financially. They did really well. above average, not like incredible, but like, you know, in like the six-figure, very low six figures, but like 100,000 a year. Yeah. So this is somewhat get married and build with your partner. Don't get married too soon, but if you find love, don't arbitrarily put it on hold and try to fuck 50 women just for what? So that you can say that you did. Like, what if I did 49 women, but I found the love of my life? Should I fuck one more? Like, what's the?
That's hard to find. Just saying.
So, and here's
maybe
the other thing too about marriage, right? So let me give you guys some numbers, and this comes straight from my book, Why Women Deserve Less. By the way,
wow, if it comes from your fucking book, it must be true.
So all this stuff is backed up with numbers, right?
Yeah. Why do women deserve it less, guys? That book probably isn't sexist.
I put a lot of studies in this book, right? So I'm going to go ahead and give y'all the cold hard facts on marriage nowadays with some of these statistics and numbers, okay? Because what Ben doesn't understand is that marriage, right, is not in a man's interest anymore, okay? So
why?
Marriage is an all-time low of 5.1 marriages per 1,000 people, half the long-term average going back to 1900. Those who do marry face the same 45% divorce rate that American marriages have suffered in the past. 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women, jumping to 90% if the woman is college educated.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean that it's the woman's fault. They might just be the initiator, but sure.
And what marriages remain intact only stand a 28.5 chance of being happy ones. Cohabitation is no better, with half of them ending just as marriages do.
Yeah, but so like if your argument is I just don't think people should get married at all, that would be fine. But you're saying men should get married. You're saying this is the problem. None of this matters, but I'll continue engaging with it. But just give it a second. You're not saying I don't think men should get married for these reasons. I would disagree with you. And I would say just try to pick a better marriage, I guess. But you're saying men should get married. So all these statistics about why you should or shouldn't are completely like kind of silly. Because you're saying your original argument is men should get married after they hit $35,000, $100,000 a year, fuck 50 women, work out, which is the only good advice, and then something else. I don't know, maybe be able to suck their own asshole. So you're saying it's a good thing, right? But with those parameters, like waiting till you're 50 plus bodies, that lowers happiness rates. Right. So then the only thing you could say is like, our marriage is more successful when you're 35 plus. If that's the case, then Myron has an argument. But that's the only thing that he can say. Oh, $100,000 a year is one of them.
Family formation is down from 3.6 births per woman in 1960 to 1.64 births per woman in 2020.
Sure.
Okay, and that includes immigrant families who are traditionally have more families. Pre-marital activities such as courtship, dating, and sex are down as well. Your average millennial only gets 1.43 dates per year compared to 9.3 and 4.7 for Gen Xers and Boomers, respectively. And this says nothing for the younger Gen Z siblings. Okay, women flake on dates about 56% of the time. All right, data from Tinder Insights show only about 8.6% of people message each other on the dating apps, resulting in actual dates. So that's pretty much a 91.4% flake rate on dating apps, right? And then a percentage of young women who haven't had sex in the past years.
92% of like relationships don't start on dating apps, so that doesn't really matter. Dating apps, people use it to fuck. Like that's where people when casual sex go. Like go to a bar or a club. Well, not a club, or like have like a hobby, church, friends, family. Don't fuck your family, but maybe meet somebody. You could meet someone through family. So like that's the problem. The problem is a lot of these statistics are based off of like casual sex culture and being like, see, casual sex culture doesn't produce relationships. Holy fuck, I would have never guessed. Go meet somebody at fucking church or at like a book club or something. Okay,
increased by 50%, going from 12% of the population to 18%, while the percentage of men not having sex. Okay, yeah, I got the numbers, man. Right, not having sex in the past has almost doubled, going from 15% of the population to about 28 to 30%. And then male virginity has also tripled, going from 11% of the young male population to 27. Okay, so
either way, like the average male body count is like 7, the average female body count is like 4. But I understand that people aren't having sex as much, but who cares?
And on top of that, guys, right?
He didn't account for 3 or 4 inflation.
Yes. And here's the other thing too, right? I have a whole chapter, guys, on how women don't like men that much anymore. Okay. Well, sorry, excuse me. Most women don't like most men. Okay. And if you guys don't believe,
dude, come on.
Okay. Well, sorry, excuse me. Most women don't like most men.
Bro, can we just understand something here? Saying that most women don't like most men is not a good point. It's a normal point. Most people. Check this out. Hot take. Most people don't like most people. It's true. How many people do you like, guys? I fucking hate everybody except for like my wife and my mom. My mother-in-law's okay. I hate. That's it. Like, it's not a hot take to say most women don't like most men, because they don't. Most men don't like most women. Most people just don't click and get along. That's why we hang out with people that are like in our culture in some capacity, because we understand them more and we resonate with us more. This isn't like this magical hot take. There was never a time in the world where most women loved most men. That's just never happened. This has always been a thing. This isn't profound information and doesn't change anything. This just means that we like passed the first grade. I like you, of course I do. Of course. But that he just hasn't, like, this number doesn't make any sense. It doesn't mean anything to say that most women don't like most men. No fucking shit. Like, you don't even like the own women that you have on the show. Like, what are you talking about? Like, of course, this is basic.
Okay? And if you guys don't believe me, when polled, Gen Z, all right, this is people born between 1995 to 2012, all right, women rank men 7th place behind travel, career, education, experiences, and starting a family.
Okay. Wait, how do you rank men behind starting a family? Okay, whatever.
So men are at almost the bottom of the totem pole, all right, when it comes to marriage. And then millennial women.
Why? Oh, wait, why they get married? Whatever.
Right, women in my age range, they're born 1981 to 1996, who are.
I think I might watch a review on Myron's book. Brittany has one. We could do something on that.
Aren't even hot anymore like that, okay? Still rank finding a man at 4th place behind careers and education.
Okay.
Okay? Women, right? Women in my age range, they're born 1981 to 1996, who aren't even hot anymore like that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you only like to fuck kids. Like, oh, no. Older women. I feel like I'm not, like, abnormal when I say, like, older women are attractive. Hot take, guys. This is going to be as hot of a take as most women don't like most men. But as you get older, your age preference tends to also mature. So when you're 35 years old, most men start to be more attracted to women that are a little older than they used to be attracted. So when you're 20 years old, you might be attracted to 18-year-old girls, while when you're 35, you might be more attracted to like 28-year-old girls. And it's interesting because there's an OkCupid statistic that Pearl loves to peddle that talks about how guys prefer girls that are 18 plus on. This is all dating range. Only prefer girls that are 18 plus, and women prefer men that are in their own age range. If you actually look at the data, it says that men will set their preferences to 18 to their age, but they typically interact with girls within a reasonable age range. So just keep in mind that, like, all these statistics, like, what are you talking about, dude? Bro, men, like, I get it, jerking off to fucking 20-year-old girls on Pornhub, but like, physical attraction is different from like a long-term like attraction. Like, as a man, I'll tell you, like, I've seen cute girls that are like 20, but I'm 33 now, so I won't really be like attracted to them in like a more significant way. I might bust a nut to them if I'm in the mood on fucking Pornhub. But like, I wouldn't date one, and I feel like most men feel the same way for the most part. Like, there's when they're looking for pure physicality, they might jerk off to some fucking 20-year-old blonde or whatever. I like brunettes though, with strong eyebrows. Okay, but when it comes to looking at it from more of like a relationship perspective, they'll like women that are closer to their age range because they're just more on their level. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. Still rank finding a man at 4th place behind careers and education.
Okay,
women are. You make less money than them, you're screwed, bro.
So why do I say all this? Okay, and and we haven't even talked about how alimony, 90% of it is paid from men to women. We haven't even talked about how.
Yeah, that's because most men make more money. So as long as it goes in the reverse, if a woman makes more money, I don't care.
Women, in general, initiate most of the divorces. Why I mentioned that before, but
sure, that doesn't mean that that's a woman's fault that the divorce happens. The guy could have cheated. It doesn't mean that that's why, but like, just because somebody initiates a divorce doesn't mean that they're the reason that the divorce happened in the first place. Just keep that in mind.
Women don't like men that much, guys. The dating landscape in general has changed significantly thanks to the internet, social media, dating apps, the amount of options that women have nowadays.
Okay.
So the thing is that what Ben is saying, get married young, have a family, all that other stuff, it sounds good in theory, right? In an imagination world.
Back in the day.
Right?
Sure.
20, 30, 40 years ago. But nowadays, that's a big nope. It's going to lead to a... Because what Ben doesn't realize is that women are 1,000% incentivized to not make it work with their guy. They're actually...
No, they're not. This is just like a terminally online take. Like, we have to stop with this. They'll make more money if they get divorced. Bro, nobody likes getting divorced. It's funny that they'll talk about how women are very emotional creatures, right? But then when it comes to money, all of a sudden they're like, nope, I'm just getting in the relationship so that I can make as much money as possible. You'll talk about how men fall in love differently from women. But it's just weird. Women don't want to get divorced. Like, people don't want to get divorced. Like, nobody goes into a relationship going, I can't wait to get divorced. So there's not like an incentive of people breaking up. They
actually benefit from breaking up with you, especially within the confinements of marriage. Now, where does that leave us? Okay. We've established that women don't like men that much. Marriage is a very risky proposal for men, right? Because men take all the risk. Women get all the benefits.
No, that's not true. Funny enough, like, listen, okay. Again, if you are a rich guy and you find like a girl, sign a prenup, right? Because you've already developed your shit. But most people benefit from being in a relationship because you will build off of each other. You provide each other financial and emotional supports that help you get through the day. Work is very stressful. It doesn't matter what job it is. And you absolutely cannot undervalue stress release as a massive factor in success. And finding the right person provides that for you. So, like, being with somebody can absolutely and will, if you find the right person, which can be difficult. So you got to make sure you find the right person, play the field a little bit. Find the right person will absolutely make your life more successful. So, like, you can't underplay that. So if you're somebody who builds with somebody, you know, let's say you get married, you guys get married at 25, you're married for 20 years, right? And let's say the man's the primary. It doesn't even matter. Let's say the woman's the primary breadwinner. And the man decided to take a step back to raise the kids, to take care of the house, to do what would be traditionally a woman's role. When they get divorced, that man should get a portion of that out of an alimony because he put his entire life on hold to build this relationship. And it goes both ways, right? If you're rich, I get the idea of a prenup because you earned it yourself. But I'm telling you, most people are going to benefit from marrying somebody. Now, the problem with very specific advice like get married before 25 or fuck 50 women is because it's not going to help you specifically because it's very specific. You know, and they don't know what you're going through. But most people should operate this way in life. You should date with the option of getting into a relationship without looking to get into a relationship. I know that sounds weird, but just date around. Doesn't mean you have to fuck every girl. I'd say that's honestly weird and unhealthy. Make sure you wear a fucking condom because you don't want to get an STD. But like, hey, date around a little bit. Experience it. You know, I would say date for 3 months before you get into a long-term relationship. Don't feel devoted to a relationship just because you've been with somebody for a period of time. Make sure that you're like happy. Prioritize your happiness. Learn to concede on some points. Learn to create boundaries that favor you versus favor them. You know, it's called compromise. And it's hard to be like, it's hard. This is all it can be very complicated to do these things. And it's hard to give specific advice with these things. Right? But just kind of educate yourself on people and on yourself, what you need to be in a relationship, and then find somebody that you can marry. And it'll click, hopefully. There's not going to be an age prescription. Most of you will probably find that in your 20s. Maybe you'll find it later. Maybe some people will find it in high school. God bless. That's the best advice you can give because hyper-specific advice, like here's the number of people you should fuck. Like I would say try to not fuck as many people as possible. All right? Fuck the bare minimum amount of people that you feel like you need to get your shit out, okay? Because it's not healthy physically because you're going to get STDs. And it's not emotionally rewarding. And I think it puts too much of a priority on sex, which is bad. Men who chase pussy generally are unsuccessful. It takes up a considerable amount of time. That's my experience. There's just been more positive being in a relationship and not because that's like it's fun to fuck around girls. Like I mean that's what you do. You be on like Tinder or you be on OkCupid or playing fish or maybe you go out to a bar or a club and you're looking for girls and you spend a lot of your time, effort, energy, and money on pussy. Regardless of whether it's a prostitute or not, you're spending it and you're not focusing on building yourself. Right? And it's so, you know, it's not, I'm not saying just find somebody as quick as possible. You don't want to force yourself to the commitment because then you're going to be unhappy. But just like operate in a way that's a little bit more balanced. Right? That's the whole point that I'm saying. It's hard to give really specific advice because I don't know you specifically. But like try to take on some of those things. Don't get married too early. feel it out in life. It will help you. Try to find love. It's really cringe, but I'll tell you, love is a very good thing. You can call it gay as possible. But the reality is like love has reignited my belief in a higher power. Because love is a big motivator. If you can get lucky enough to find the person that you truly love, that makes you a better person, you're going to want to cherish that. And you're going to want to believe in like some kind of an afterlife because you couldn't cope without that person, even in like another life. I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but like there is a very powerful thing about love. It's something that I love. I know it's very gay. It's a lot of people, but it's not really. It's very powerful. Yeah, sure. Gay love is very powerful too. It's a really powerful emotion. It's a very motivating emotion. Like for me, it's been a very positive thing to experience. And I think it's positive for everybody. And it's hard to really find that. And when you chase love, unfortunately, you know, you're going to find anything you're looking for. But that doesn't mean it's going to be the right thing, right? You know, if you're looking for something, you'll find it. But you also might, you know, it's like when you're looking for a DVD player. So you find a broken one, and you're like, fuck it, this is still a DVD player. I'm not saying look for love, but be open to it. Does that make sense? Is love worth it? Of course. Listen, it's like it's a famous Louis C.K. joke about love. It's like there's two possibilities in life. You're either gonna find somebody, you're gonna fucking hate them, and your marriage is gonna end in divorce, and you're gonna be fucking miserable. Or the best case scenario in life is that you're gonna find somebody that you love, and you grow, and you build together, and it's the most incredible experience in the world. And then one of you is gonna die, and the other one's gonna it's gonna be miserable until they slowly wither away. It's a funny and it's a true joke though. But hopefully you understand my point. Sorry, I know I ranted a little bit.
Right, you can't tell me a benefit that a man receives from marriage that he can't get in a regular relationship.
I guess. I got health insurance through my wife. Like I don't know. There you go. There's something very mentally binding when you get into a marriage. When you get it's almost like, well, first of all, you get fucking insane tax cuts, like insane, like literally fucking, you get actual insane tax cuts. I'm gonna see if I can find the percentage, but you get ridiculous tax cuts for being married. So that's number one. You get to share. I think all non-disclosure agreements are bound to both of you. You get the emotional. There's something about the commitment aspect of it. I mean, I think that he's just talking about if you get a divorce, women benefit. But, like, the goal of marriage isn't to get a divorce, of course. You get health insurance. You get commitment. I don't know. I just feel like the way you look at it is very sad. It's sad if that's the way that you look at it. If you just look at it, men can't benefit from marriage, I think that's just sad. So...
Right? Tax benefits, is that really? No, because when you actually look at what you're risking, it's not worth
minuscule.
It. It's minuscule.
Yeah.
So I tell guys, yo, you have to have these things in place so that, number one, you're more attractive mate in the first place, so it lowers your chances of being divorced. And on top of that, when you've had sex with 50 women, it allows you to be a good assessor of female character. Now, let's run
You don't have to have sex with women to be an assessor. You don't have to have sex with 50 people to have that.
Clip, one more time.
Here we go. And guys, Rumble's down.
I say all the time,
run it back later.
Shouldn't be
Elmo. Just kill the Rumble stream there.
That was my next question.
All right, so let's play this clip back.
Cool.
All right, and then enlarge it.
I say all the time, in today's day and age, you shouldn't be getting married until you're at least 35.
That was my next question for you. As a man, what age should you consider getting married?
So I have, this is...
Just to be clear, the problem with all this is that, like, couples who are married and have kids, those kids have better outcomes. So, like, oh, that's really all you have to say to counter that. Boom. There you go. Got him.
My thing that I tell guys, I think 35 years old, had slept with at least 50 women, 100K per year, you're in shape, and you got 6 months to 1 year of savings.
All right, done. I got to get married. I've done all that. That's easy.
Here's the Republic right there. So that is a recipe for a terrible marriage, by the way, guys. Waiting until you're 35 and have slept with 50 women, that is a terrible recipe for marriage by every available data point. It turns out that you are much better in terms of getting married if you get married younger, if you do not have a wide variety of sexual partners.
Yeah. For women, not for men.
Sorry.
For a terrible marriage, by the way, guys. Waiting until you're 35 and have slept with 50 women, that is a terrible recipe for marriage by every available data point. It turns out that you are much better in terms of getting married if you get married younger, if you do not have a wide variety of sexual partners.
Yeah. For women.
No, it's for men too. I showed the statistic on the screen before. It's for both men and women. They have higher happiness outcomes if they don't have sex with a bunch of people. So, yeah, we did it.
Not for men. Okay? And that's a very important distinction.
It's not. You're wrong objectively by all data points.
Women lose their ability to be in happy long-term relationships and marriages.
No, they don't lose their ability. They report lower happiness ratings. Both men and women do this.
They have more sexual partners. Men do not.
No, they do.
Let's keep going the clip, and I'll show you guys a proof of that here in a second.
Sure, go ahead.
If you do not have a wide variety of sexual partners, all the stuff about, being in shape and having money and all the rest, like, you should try to do that, generally speaking. But this notion that you wait until you're 35, you've already made a bevy of mistakes that have shaped your character and made you much more rigid as a person.
It's actually better to make those mistakes without the confinements of marriage, so you know, okay, I don't match.
The point is that the mistakes help you develop in a relationship and bond with somebody, but okay.
And I'm not compatible with this type of girl. Okay? It makes you a better assessor of character, because when you have an abundance mindset and you've been around women, you understand what works, what doesn't work. And again, remember, guys, I want to make this painfully clear for everybody, all almost 10,000 of you guys watching. Men take all the risk when it comes to marriage.
Yep.
Period.
Sure.
Okay? You're the one that's putting your money on the line. You're the one putting...
Here, listen, there's not a lot we could say here because a lot of this is going to be a trial through error. Here's the reality. If you listen to Myron, you're going to be a miserable person. I don't know what else to tell you. It's sad. A lot of young men are just going to be miserable. You're looking at a relationship as exclusively like a financial agreement. You're not incentivizing love or the benefit to having somebody that you can confide your deepest, darkest, frustrating secrets and vent to in a healthy, safe way without judgment, which is the type of person that you should be able to find. There's going to be risk in anything in life. I think it's a coward's move to not make a risky investment because life is a risk. You just have to make a calculated risk. And I'll tell you that I'm very happily married. And everybody in my family who's married is happily married. And some of them have ended poorly. Of course. Right? Of course. But the people who they didn't end are incredibly happily married. We're not just talking about a silly abstract thing. We're talking about, ideally, finding like your best friend. And I know that might sound cringe to you, but like there's no greater value. And the mental impact of getting married it's very scary, but it's also like very rewarding to get. It's interesting. There is something psychological that happens when you get married because you decided to make, especially if you respect marriage, whether you're religious or not, if you respect the institution of marriage, if you value that, there's something very powerful about getting married. You're making a lifelong commitment to somebody and it triggers something in your head that will... It's so hard to articulate because you need to get married to experience it, and you need to get married to somebody that you love, and you need to value marriage. And in order to do that, we have to really kind of explain like what's the value in marriage. There's something so powerful about being bound to somebody by choice in like a lifelong commitment. And that is just very inspiring. I don't know how else to articulate. It's hard to articulate it. It's just, I can't do it. You have to, there's some things that I can't explain to you, but what I can tell you is that I'm very happy and I've never been happier and I never will be happier. And that being married to my wife is the first time that I've taken my mortality seriously, because it's made me realize that like I don't want to squander it. It's the only reason that I'm like really losing weight is because I want to stay alive longer for my wife, and I'm terrified that when we die we're going to separate, so I want to keep myself alive. There's something very motivating about it. It's just hard. I don't know how to tell you. And if you don't value that, with Myron doesn't, Fresh and Fit, they don't value this. They don't value love. They don't value women. They don't value relationships. They don't see how powerful and positive they can be. you're just going to be fucking miserable. And it's going to happen. If you take this advice in 5 to 10 years, you're going to fucking hate yourself. And if you don't believe me, then you're just going to learn through that experience. And I feel bad for you. I feel bad that you looked for, that this is where you looked to. Somebody who tries to address the problem of single parent, like single motherhood and lack of fathers in the homes, which is what most of our problems in society, I think, are, which lack of father figures in people's lives, or, lack of a parent being in their life in general is an issue. And they're just going to create more of those through advocation of cheating and higher relationship, or higher sex, and valuing sex over relationship. Sad shit.
The ability to see your children on the fucking line. You're the one that's going to have to go to divorce court and take the L most of the time and pay the alimony. So the reason why I'm saying you
make less money.
Need to have a good idea of female nature and have had sex with multiple girls is because guess what? When you have sex with a girl, the game is over. You get to figure out who the fuck she really is for the most part. And it allows you to understand, okay, this is what women like, this is what women don't like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, etc. You're not going to get finessed.
I think it's a little ironic. He's talking about what women like. He won't even eat pussy, so I don't know.
By girls because you have sexual inexperience. What have I always said on this podcast? All right? A woman's greatest superpower is you not understanding yours. Bam. One more time for y'all niggas, man.
You don't need to have sex with 50 women to get good in bed. Theoretically, you only have to have sex with one. Now, it's probably a little easier if you have sex with a few more. But as long as you're attentive to your partner and you can have that open and honest exchange, like, you can get better at sex even with one partner. It helps a little more to fuck multiple women, but that's just the point. 50 is certainly too high.
Get this through your fucking heads. This is what tradcons don't have right. The sexual marketplace has changed drastically. And you can take the internet, dating apps, social media. Women have an overinflated sense of self-worth. You don't fucking believe me? Ask all the guys that are sexless right now.
Maybe. Yeah. No, for sure. There are people online, there are dogs like myself that'll fuck unattractive women or historically that are less attractive than me. And I know that I'm not the most attractive guy, but guys do this all the time. They'll go, because it's easy to get that. They'll be like, oh, you're so beautiful. Like, wow, somebody that's obviously more attractive than me wants to fuck me. And you might be like, Poppy, you're fat. I am fat, but I have a handsome face. I make decent money. And I'm tall and I have a deep voice. So, like, I would fuck dogs. I'm not trying to be an asshole. And then that would make them feel like they could get better. And then, like, yeah, this is the real problem is men, oh, you're so fucking beautiful. You're so hot. Just to bust, just because you go into that werewolf mode because you're so fucking horny. And then it inflates some women's ego for sure. Okay. But like, at the end of the day, they'll learn through experience what they're not going to actually be able to marry or date that person because they just wanted to fuck them, and they'll get fucked and thrown aside a couple times and go like, wow, like, not for nothing, but a lot of the women that I fucked with will date guys that look like me but like uglier somehow, right? Because I'm so ugly. So it's just, listen, the game unfortunately is lie so you can get pussy, and like, I'm not proud of it. That's just fuckboy shit, but yeah, that's a problem, but it's not destroying the fucking marketplace. It's
almost up to 60% of guys reporting not having had sex in a year or being fucking virgins. All right? Shit is real out here when it comes to guys struggling. All right?
Okay.
And there's a bunch of other reasons too. Guys watching too much porn, guys not getting out there becoming successful, the burden of masculinity is down.
Yeah, men afraid of failing too. Boys afraid of failing. Like, a lot of people are like, the girl rejected me on Tinder, so like, you're gonna get rejected 95% of the time. So just keep failing and eventually you'll get a girl. But guess who is not there to teach that strength? Oh, the fathers. Oh shit, how do we advocate for more fathers? Oh, 50 bodies.
Like, there's a whole bunch of fuckery going on. But
yeah, confidence is key, bro. You'd be surprised.
The point I'm trying to make is the sexual marketplace has changed. And since it has changed, men bear all the risk because women are incentivized to initiate breakups, initiate divorces. And what does that do for you? Well, you're going to end up broke, homeless, not seeing your kids, wondering what the fuck is going on.
Okay.
So,
unfortunately, most men just don't want to see their kids to the same degree that the women do. Like, there are a lot of good men who get pushed out of being able to see their kids as much as they deserve, but it's because of the exponentially more men who want nothing to do with their kids, and they just pretend that they give a shit. And unfortunately, parents will also, it's complicated, but they'll also fight each other through divorce court and just to get back at each other. It's a sad thing, but let's not pretend that like all men are victims in these scenarios. Most men just don't give a fuck about their kids. Most men just don't give a shit. It's so sad, and it hurts the men who give a fuck about their kids. But the thing is that the men that give a fuck about their kids aren't going to listen to Myron and Fresh and Fit because they see that these guys are idiots.
If you're going to take an enormous risk like that and get married, which I don't suggest you do, by the way, you better have all your fucking T's crossed, I's dotted, and prepared to go into this thing because marriage is going to be a fucking war. And I know y'all like, whoa,
that's not.
Myron, that's kind of extreme. Well, you know what?
It is.
I say it that way because you're risking everything. When you live with a girl and she's your main chick and you guys are married, guess what happens?
What happens?
Now she has leverage. Okay.
Why does she have
and
all
what
leverage?
we teach you guys on the podcast is you need to maintain the fucking leverage.
What is she gonna do? Punch you? Like, I don't understand. What leverage does she have? I don't get it.
She needs to be uncomfortable at all times. When a girl's uncomfortable, that's how you're gonna get good behavior. But when a girl is comfortable, that's when the disrespect begins.
Okay, so when he's talking about comfort, I'll interpret it the correct way. I think he means it being very good faith. You should never get comfortable in a relationship as a man or a woman, or you'll stop trying, right? You should always try for your partner. So, but like, I mean, just pick better women. Honestly, like if you're having this huge problem with like women taking all your money, it's your fault as a man. Just pick better women, right? I mean, you'll tell women that were raped that they should have just picked better men. So why can't I just say pick better women and say fuck men, cope, idiot? Like, you're gonna tell women that were raped that they should have just picked better men or they wouldn't have gotten raped. So like, why can't I just respond with pick better women? Like, everything is sorry, because it's always the woman's fault for everything. Holy shit, I forgot.
That's when she doesn't want to fuck you anymore. That's when she starts talking back to you. That's when she starts to emasculate you. This is when she starts to embarrass you in front of your friends. This is when all the fuck.
It's all yeah. Saying your partner should never be comfortable around you is fucking ridiculous. But it's more about like, don't get too like always try. Don't get too comfortable to the point where you don't try. Right. That's when you start like gaining weight and you stop like doing nice things, like the acts of kindness for your partner, which you should always maintain.
Fuckery happens is when women are comfortable, and when you give a girl marriage, a ring, guess what happens? She gets super fucking comfortable, and that's when the disrespect starts. So what I want y'all guys
hasn't happened for me. I just picked a better woman.
to have is the fucking leverage. Women only respect men, okay, that have leverage. She needs to care about you more than you care about her.
That's so, you're so gay. Like, what does that even mean? Just care about each other equally. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's how relationships last, period.
Okay.
All right? This whole idealistic, tradcon conservative dream that a girl's gonna stick by your side no matter what, through thick and thin, till death do us part, all that shit, it's fucking gone. All right?
You're not even in a relationship. Like, you're yelling. I'd be like if I sat here and gave you a fucking nutrition lesson. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Your girl is one DM away from a fucking rapper, a celebrity, etc. being taken.
Bro, what are you talking about? If you think most women are one DM away from wanting to date a rapper or a celebrity, you're fucking insane. It's so weird. I mean, it's like a meme of like, who's your celebrity crush? But like, at the end of the day, first of all, they're never what. I just don't even know how to engage with this. If those are the types, if you're dating women that are regularly getting hit up by celebrities and rappers, that's just not a normal experience. So I don't even know how to engage with that. That is very hyper specific to you, I guess. I guess that's a very high value woman, or you're dating a fucking whore. I don't know what to tell you. How often are rappers taking your girls? That's why I date women that are white and racist, so that they'll this way they'll never leave me because I'm white and racist. I don't know. This joke's weird. This is just, it's so weird that you think this is a normal problem. This is so fucking bizarre. Jesus Christ. This is so fucking weird, man. Like, this is very weird that you think that this is like a really big problem in a relationship, is that a rapper is going to take your girl. Like, that's just so not normal. Most people aren't going to have this problem. Most people are normal. But
all right? And I'm telling y'all this because guys like me, guys like Fresh, guys like Dan Bilzerian, guys like Andrew Tate, guys like Tristan Tate.
Yeah, like rapists. Yeah, I don't know about that. Sorry, Dan. I didn't mean you. I'm sorry. Sex traffickers. Sorry.
They're the ones fucking these girls behind closed doors that you guys are going ahead and try to commit to.
I don't want to commit to any girl that would ever listen. If a girl was dumb enough to get within proximity of any of these people, I would not date them. You guys are a fucking walking red flag that blame women for getting raped. And like, you are fucking like sober, but date women that or go and look for women that get drunk. Like, you guys are fucking red flags. You guys operate with the way that actual like rapists operate, and you know, one of you is Andrew Tate is a sex trafficker, admittedly, out of his own fucking mouth. So like, I don't know, like, what the fuck. You know, we're at a point now, if you engage with like Fresh or Fit sexually, like, you're a dumb woman. You're an idiot person, because they're like lots of views. Like, if you know who they are from their show and you fuck them, like, I don't even feel bad for you anymore, because you're just so stupid. You're a dumb woman if you fuck them. So I mean, I would never date a dumb woman. So I value intelligence in women and people in general, really. It's why I don't like, that's why I'm not attracted to 18-year-old girls, because they're stupid. And so are 18-year-old boys. And I know that because I used to be an 18-year-old boy. And I had a very high IQ. And I was like an advanced student in school. And I was still fucking stupid. Okay? So, like, I just want you to understand that you're fucking... like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Real talk! We have the most promiscuous women ever.
Yeah, because you live in Miami, idiot.
So if you're going to sit there and not have any sexual experience, again, her superpower, right, is selling you purity, niceness. Oh, I'm a good girl. And if your dumbass can't tell, guess what? You're going to get finessed.
Yo,
date better women,
Marco.
Hey, appreciate that, my friend. So I got more.
Just to Mara's point as well, you can tell Ben Shapiro is a great guy, but he does not have experience with women. Now, not modern.
Yeah, because you certainly do. Holy shit.
Exactly. So what happens is, let's say one, right, meets you for the first time, and she knows you're not that knowledgeable about women, you're pretty much like a virgin. What's gonna happen is she's like, damn, as a woman, I want experience with my man. So if you can give me what I want from, you know, my past history, because you have many bodies before you, it's like, all right, this guy's great, but like, he's not what I actually need. So she'll marry you, of course, but once again, like I said earlier, if she divorces you, bro, you lose everything. So
the girl's gonna date you, realize you don't have enough experience, but still marry you for some reason, and just to divorce you. That's so true. That definitely happens. Women all the time find guys that they fucking hate just to marry them, take their money. There are women that exist like that. I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's not most women, though.
So my thing is, like, at least on some level, get some experience. And if you're going to take that extra amount and get married, bro, be prepared, because if you're not ready for that, bro, it's an L.
What Ben is basically saying is, yo, go into the dating marketplace with training wheels.
Yeah.
I'm telling you motherfuckers, take those training wheels off, because you're going to fall. You need to learn how to balance that bike, because the training wheels that Ben Shapiro got to enjoy was a stable family, a strong Jewish background, education, financial security from his family.
Yeah, so you know what? Advocate for that, but they don't. They advocate for the reverse of that. They advocate for broken homes with no religious values and cheating. So
okay, these are training wheels that most of you don't have. Okay, and he married a girl who also came from a Jewish background.
That's awesome.
These are what I call buffers against negative aspects of female nature and modern day.
Just like when you do bowling.
Male fuckery.
Religion, yeah.
Okay, religion is one of the best buffers in a strong family. All right, but he had those buffers. A lot of y'all don't. Okay, so to take his advice and get married young is an L with a lot of these modern day women, especially when you got an entire society, you got an entire generation, you got Sex and the City, you got Cardi B, you got Kim Kardashian, you got all this fucking mindless filth going into modern day women's heads. Beyonce.
True, because there's nothing in the reverse. There's no rap or anything that teaches men to rape women and, like, you know, value drugs and fucking bitches and disrespecting people. That doesn't exist. But Cardi B, #1 problem that we have in the entire world. It's fucking crazy.
Hey, all the single ladies, Sierra, I don't need no man, all this shit, okay? Women are being indoctrinated to not need you and to not want you, okay? They only go after the top guys. So since a lot of these girls have this mindset that they can do better, they deserve better, guess what happens?
Fuck. It's really bad to find a girl who thinks that she deserves stuff. Fuck. Guys, don't operate in life thinking that you deserve somebody. Don't feel good. Don't be confident. Don't be like, hey, I deserve better than getting violently beaten by my traditionally religious partner and not being able to get a divorce because I don't have any money and it's illegal to do that. Don't want better than that. Find a man that makes a lot of money, and you make sure you come into the relationship with no financial or power in any capacity, and just basically get beaten, abused, and raped by your partner whenever they want, because you have no power, because you don't deserve better. You're just a tool for men. What the fuck are you talking about? Shut up. Like, yeah, some women are annoying and they think too much of themselves, and you know what? Life will knock them down. There's a funny way of that happening. Steer clear of those women, which most people do, and then they're gonna fucking get humbled real fast. You should have confidence in your relationship and who you are, and you should have confidence in what you want. Obviously, that can go too far, and people can feel a little too entitled to having too much, but then you know what? They won't find a partner. Oh my God, it's almost like these problems don't exist that they're saying, and they're pandering to single men. Hey guys, we're all single. By the way, here's how fucking relationships work. It's like incredible. It literally is like fucking nuts. Holy shit.
They think they can do better than you. So what I'm saying is that you need to do better, have more girls, figure out which girls are worth a commitment, which ones aren't, have an idea, have a playbook in your brain because you've dealt with enough girls. You have an abundance mindset. You're not a thirsty simp. You know how women.
If the girl deserves commitment, why wouldn't you commit to that girl? Why do you need to hit 50 bodies?
Operate. You know how to check a chick when she gives you some bullshit. You know how to not tolerate bad behavior. You know how to punish bad behavior. All these things make you more attractive, but you're not going to get it unless you go out there and date.
When did he quote relationship statuses for people who were born in 2012? Wait, what? When did he do that? Did he really do that? That's fucking wild.
And deal with other women. And the thing is that you need to sleep with girls to be able to do this. You need to conquer more islands to figure out if you're a good explorer or not. A lot of you motherfuckers are out here like, oh, I found this one island. That's good enough. Let me put my fucking flag here and claim this. No, you gotta call.
Oh my God, you guys are so annoying. How long is it? When is this over? This is really stupid. This is just
conquer multiple islands. You know what the fuck you're doing. You gotta become a better conqueror. All right, and I hate to say it like that, and that, you know,
terminology.
With that analogy and that terminology, because I can already see feminists clipping that shit. Oh my God, he's calling us islands. Fuck you, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I'm talking to men for the commitment. Which ones aren't?
All right. Yeah, no, I think we got everything. I think that we got the basic point. Y'all settle with women who don't even like you. Okay, Ben Shapiro has no clue about modern women.
And no offense, but Ben is not even in the dating game right now. So how would he even...
Yeah, but you guys have never been... You guys aren't dating either. You're just fucking prostitutes, basically. Glorified whores. So.
But no.
He's been married since 2008.
We're in the dating game. Tell you what's happening in real time.
You're not reflective of the normal dating game. You're rich people that live in fucking Miami where there's a bunch of girls that want sex for money. Like, you're not normal. So.
It's like, oh yeah, 20 years ago, my time. No offense, bro.
My man been married for 2 recessions.
Just saying, bro.
Like, bro, he's been married for 2 recessions. Listen, Ben.
Respectfully.
All right, there's really nothing of value that we could get out of here. This one says guys like Ben Shapiro don't speak for average men. You don't either.
It's always dudes who've been with one woman their entire life who swear that they have all the modern day dating answers. Shapiro. LOL. L Shapiro.
Okay.
Shapiro. L Fragrant. I mean, bro, we've seen it time and time again. Uncle Luke 98
says...
the
thing, too. The thing that's saving them niggas got status.
Okay. There's nothing of value that we could get out of this. You guys aren't reflective of the average man. Neither is Ben Shapiro. To be honest with you, I'm probably more reflective of the average man, especially with obesity rates this time, right? At the end of the day, dude, just shut the fuck up. Like, this is so boring. Oh, don't do that. The hyper-specific advice is bad, unless the person knows you intimately, deeply, and there's probably some kind of a counselor that actually has authority to speak on the topic. At the end of the day, guys, like I said, go through life, experience different things, different people, with the openness to be in a relationship, but without necessarily looking for one while you improve yourself. And then you're going to find, you'll find love when at least expected. That's the most vague general advice, not even amazing advice, but I can't give you specific advice. And I'm telling you that marriage is great and it's worth it if you find somebody that, you can actually love, care about, and build a relationship with. Love matters. Friendship matters. Finding a friend in your partner is very important. And these two just they're not reflective of society. They're like kids. They like kids apparently too. Legal aged ones, of course. But like, that's where we're at, bro. Like, and it's just like silly that we're debating this. It's like basic fucking thing. I genuinely feel bad for their audience because they're never going to be happy in their entire life. And I mean that. That's the saddest part, is none of them are going to be happy. They're going to be miserable. They're going to be like fundamentally lacking in a very strong relationship.